Welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding livestream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I am actually in the same time zone as Shaw for once.
Yes.
No, actually, we're in the same states, but of course, Texas is a huge state. It's bigger than most countries.
I think this is the closest we've ever been, David. I feel like I can reach out
I
and touch
feel
you.
really close to you right now. No, so I'm in Austin right now, and Shaw is in Houston. And if you know anything about Texas, those are pretty far from each other, but relatively close compared to other cities in Texas. Like El Paso might as well be halfway across the country, you know?
It basically is.
Yeah. Anyway, of course, I am David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPiano.
And together we are coding compadres, animation amigos, Boolean buddies, and keyframe companions.
We're coding cowboys today.
Coding cowboys. Yeehaw.
Yeah. All right, so today is a special episode. We're going to be doing a lightning round of various animations from scratch, live, using HTML, CSS, and a fun little JavaScript library that Shaw wrote. And I don't mean little in a derogatory sense. I mean little as in it is really tiny. But in Texas, everything is huge. And this library packs some huge effects and possibilities.
It sure does. Before we get into that, this show is made possible by your support. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers to help us out, or subscribe at twitch.tv/keyframers. Links are available below, and you may earn a special shout out during the stream.
Yeah, and of course, ask questions. All two of you so far. And reach out in the Twitch chat or in the YouTube comments.
That's right. All right, so today we wanted to do a lightning round. I actually didn't suggest this. This was David's suggestion of using splitting to do some text effects on the stream. And splitting, of course, is my little library that I've built with the help of Christopher Wallace at Notorious B1T. You can find it at Splitting.js.org, and that's where you can find documentation and demos and all that kind of fun stuff. If you refresh the page, you can see that lovely intro animation. And yeah, it's been a super useful little library. I've just had a need for it, so I built it, and over the course of all that, I've discovered a lot of really useful instances where this kind of library is helpful. So you can see little text effects in the documentation. There's a link in the top there to demos, and if you follow that, there's a whole CodePen collection of some stuff that other people have been making, some stuff I've made.
Did you know that about whales?
It's true. It's true.
Whales are pretty big.
Yes. Language warning. Sorry. But yeah, there's so many cool things you can do with it. Here's a big collection of demos that I put together that I made just for various text effects, all built with splitting. And the only JavaScript down here is
it's literally one line,
splitting,
which might be a little crazy at first. So let's just go over the main concept of how this works real quick.
Right. So let me pull up our first thing here. So in the splitting documentation, there's actually a link to open a CodePen template. So this has everything populated for you, which is really just a small bit of JavaScript there, including the library, and then the CSS. The CSS isn't strictly necessary, but it does contain a lot of helpful setup stuff. We'll probably go over some of those as we go, but for now, all you have to do is call splitting in the JavaScript down there. And then any element you want to split, you can just add the data splitting attribute to. By default, this will split by characters, which means each of these characters in Hello World actually becomes its own element. So if I inspect here, my DevTools popped over, you can see all of these fancy little spans. So each character is wrapped in its own span, and it actually wraps each word by in a span as well. And this is mainly for text wrapping on longer pieces of text, so that things don't it doesn't get separated. It keeps all the words locked together. And then you can see within each character, it actually gets a style attribute with a fancy CSS variable showing you what the character index of that particular character is. And you also get a data char attribute telling you what the character is. And the words get a similar kind of treatment with data word and the word index. And then on the parent, you get a few classes added just for helpful targeting. And then a style of 2 CSS variables of the word total and the character total. And this allows you to do a lot of fun things.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, this is a new-ish approach. It's like you don't see this that often, where you're using CSS variables instead of directly manipulating it via JavaScript. And I started talking about this concept around 2.5 years ago when I talked about reactive animations with CSS variables, because you could communicate between JavaScript and CSS with these CSS variables. And you get a lot of really cool effects for free just on the basis of being able to control it from CSS. But I think the important question is it char or care?
Char is how I
But
have
you don't
pronounced it
say
in my head.
character, you say character. So wouldn't it be care? You know what? Let me ask in the chat. Is it char or care?
Or
I think that people should decide for themselves.
Yes, vote now on CHAR or CHAR.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think it's CHAR.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like GIF and GIF.
Yeah, great.
So by default, this there's no animation actually included with splitting. It simply splits elements that have that data splitting attribute, or you can target them in specific ways, and then you add all your own animation. Now you can use JavaScript libraries if you want. Splitting will actually return some arrays of elements and all of that for you to use. However, you don't need to do that because you can just use CSS. So in the default template, it includes just this simple little animation with targeting Splitting.char, giving them an animation of slide in. And if I take off this animation delay, you can see, okay, that's still kind of cool because each character is animating individually. If you were trying to just do this on the element itself, it would look a lot different. That's kind of cool, but we want to focus on the characters here. So one of the ways that utilizing these CSS variables is really awesome is just by adding a little bit of staggering. So with animation delay, we're using calc, the calc function in CSS, and this allows us to delay the animation by 160 milliseconds for every char index. So you can get some really interesting effects there.
Now, does it have to be the char care whatever class, or can you customize that?
The classes are set in the library
Set in
right now.
stone.
Yeah, which there may be some wiggle room for adjustment in the future, but you do actually get all of those elements returned by the library, so you can do your own manipulation if you want.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of different splits that are included in splitting, like splitting by cells. This is a really cool demo that's Strafe OK put together, with it showing the split cells. And there's a lot of really awesome animations within this. Some stuff that I haven't even thought of for utilizing this for. And so with all of those that are built in, I went ahead and made sure that a few things were locked down so that it was easier to target. So,
well, I'm going to make a PR because as convenient as the classes are, we've seen in previous Keyframers episodes that sometimes using data attributes can actually be really powerful and more sustainable, so that you're not polluting your class space. Yeah. But I guess it's not that big of an issue.
Well, these are all created elements. Hey, thanks for following us. These are all created elements by the library, so in theory, it's not, polluting anything that you've specifically set up. But it does actually have that data attribute of data char.
Okay. Well, there you go.
To give
my wishes are answered.
Yeah, so you can see that data char and data word. So you can target those instead if you really want. But either way, it's it's available for you to use.
Well, then I will do that.
So let me drop a link here in the chat.
Where are you going to drop?
I'm dropping a link to a bucket, dribble bucket, full of animations. There's a few that we just pulled out.
And there's a ton of these. Like, you could probably find 100 more on Dribble, just these types of animations.
That's right. But these were the ones that I could find and sifted through to see stuff that was really practical to do here, which may not seem practical at first, but a lot of these are actually fairly straightforward once we get into it. But yeah, any particular ones catch your eye, then you can share that link in the chat, or share some that aren't in this bucket, and we'll be happy to take a look and knock those out. Are there any particular ones that have caught your eye, David?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this one. So I'm all about illusions, right? And so I took a look at this one, and I realized that there is, it's the one second row all the way to the left.
Mm-hmm.
And you could create an illusion of letters just shifting into each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the strategy for this, oh, my computer's shaking. Anyway, the strategy for this is that, we're going to want the letters absolutely positioned on top of each other. So just figuring out how to do that.
Okay, so this is Hello by Veronica Guck, and we'll...
Actually, it should be pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Using our fancy Flexbox technique. Well, your fancy Flexbox
or something
technique.
like that, yes.
Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a hello in the HTML, and I'm going to... So admittedly, I have not used splitting extensively quite yet, but I feel like it's going to be more common in our show. So I'm going to just treat it as any of you would treat it. I am not a splitting expert, but I hope to be after this show. So let's make a heading, and of course we have the data splitting attribute. Right?
Are you in the right collab?
Oh gosh, am I? I thought I was.
The one that I was messing with, the last link in your chat there.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's the one you're in.
Yes.
Or the other one. Fine. We'll do this one.
Well, I was doing this one because it just has everything from the splitting template.
Right, but I need to add the position relative and It's like a habit, man.
Go ahead.
And
Go
I
ahead.
can't kick the habit. It's just there. Okay, so we have a div that is splitting, right? We have
Yes.
hello, and so now that's just going to be a straight up hello. Okay, so from what I understand, of course, this magically splits all these into chars, right?
Can you edit something really quick? I'm not actually seeing you in here.
Yeah.
Okay,
A reload?
let
And a
me.
reload.
Yeah, I'll reload as well. Okay.
Okay.
Weird.
Cool. So we still have the position relative. You know,
Yes.
everything is beautiful, right? All right. So, uh, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna do that car, or actually just dot char, right? Is that the class name?
Yes, char.
Okay. Perfect. And so, from what I understand, we have splitting in here, and so just reiterating, each one of these letters is going to have this char index, and it's 0 indexed, unlike, you know, CSS, which of course is differently indexed.
Yes.
And I'm going to set up some Sass magic here. Okay.
All right.
And yeah, the Sass magic is going to be, well, actually, no, that's not going to be that. We'll do it based on letters. So I'm going to set up a variable called letter colors. I think we might see where this is going, where each letter is going to have its own color.
Yeah.
Like that's my plan right now. So let me
I
just
think I'm with you there.
open this up in GIF Scrubber, whatever it is.
Yes. GIF Scrubber. Got
And
it.
yeah, by the way, if you after this episode, you the viewer, decide to make your own splitting animations, like please show us because we will definitely feature it.
Yes.
We'll definitely give it a shot. So for H, I'm going to give it that color. Let's see. What color is E? E is a nice blue. My computer fans just started to whir, so I blame that on splitting.
No.
Very computationally intensive because what it does is it uses machine learning to figure out the optimal way to split each letter, correct?
It is not true. Not true at all.
And it's not advanced, and I rescind my funding for this project.
No. Splitting is actually quite performant. It only needs to run once. It's not constantly updating the DOM or doing anything crazy. It's pretty quick and easy to use. That is actually the fan for the house. So the house is doing some machine learning right now.
Who's doing machine learning?
My house.
How's your house doing machine learning?
Well, it's spinning up the fan to cool down the home's CPU. Okay.
All right. So anyway, Sass, man, this is a feature I haven't used in a while, but there's such a thing as Sass maps. And so, like I have this map over here for HELO, and of course there's 2 L's, so it's going to have to be the same color. But I could say each letter color in letter colors, and then I could say and data char equals, and then this awkward syntax letter. I want I'm just going to say color to be the color. And so what that's going to be is I'm going to have a before content position absolute. Actually, it should really be position fixed. I have no idea what it's going to be. Whatever. Let's see. Width, 100 viewport width. height, 100 viewport height, background color, bare color. And you should see all the colors. So maybe you don't.
Nope.
Please hold. Let's see.
You don't want and, you want just regular data char there.
Oh, okay. So
that's
you changed it on me.
I changed nothing.
Okay, so each word has a char. So that's what that char. All right, let's see if that is going to work. Each in. Yeah, that should work. I mean, we're getting no SAS errors, so that's good.
Yeah. There's.
Oh, you know what? So
there's something weird up here with letter colors.
Splitting does stuff.
It does stuff?
Like yes, splitting does its own. It adds its own before rules. But yes, actually, I don't think
that shouldn't affect it here.
You're right. You're right. So splitting word char. I'm just not sure why it's. Oh, wait a minute.
Are you yeah, you're coloring by background. So let's do before. Oh, sorry. Visibility, visible. Did that do it? Is there anything?
Okay, let's see.
Char. All right, something's weird is going on with your SAS. Oh, hey, it helps if you set the preprocessor to CSS.
Oh wow, that's
good gravy. Hey, we're professionals. Don't worry.
That is embarrassing.
Base level rules cannot contain the parent selector after selector referencing and star. Hey, there we go. Position fixed, I believe is what you want there.
Oh,
C
okay.
index -1.
We have a fix. Let's see.
Cool.
That is funny how that happened. Okay, so we have that. We have this. Okay, color. That's correct. All right, cool. So now my before is still invisible because it's visibility hidden. So let's just simple. Boom, we have colors. But of course we want it to be Z index 0 because we want the letters to show on top of it, which of course it's.
I'm not seeing your edits. Hold on.
Refresh. All right, well go ahead and reload.
Okay, there we go.
Because it should totally be there because now I have some lovely pretty colors. They're great. So left negative.
Hey, you just want position fixed there.
Oh, and yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. Smarter, not harder.
So my thinking is that, we have this before thing, like this big thing that's in front of the letter, and we want to rotate each letter in place, right? And so we want all of them on top of each other, which is what you did with that grid area 1/1.
Yes. So this is a beautiful new trick I discovered earlier this week or last week, something like that. So using display grid and setting your grid template to just 1 by 1, and then setting your layers to all be just covering the exact same area, you get everything overlapping, but it's still sized by the proper sizes. Let me just simplify this.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, and then are you getting the before kind of cut out there?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we might just need to do a z-index bump here. Yep. There we go.
Aha.
Got it. All right.
Okay, cool. So now what I'm thinking is each one of these spins. It spins in and then it spins out. That's what the animation is going to be. So From 0 to 50, it's spinning. And then from 50 to 100, it spins the same direction, but it also, fades out or something? Yeah, we could
It's
experiment
kind of
with
a
both.
scale down. Yeah, kind of a scale down effect.
So from transform, rotate, it does
At least
one turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. 50. Oh, well, transform. We have none. And of course, we could change that. Transform, rotate, one turn. Now, some of you might not be familiar with this one turn thing. I've started using it more just because it makes more semantic sense, especially when you don't have to think about degrees. And
so slight problem with that is the before element being being attached to the.
Oh yeah, so I thought about that, and here is my. You're gonna hate this. You're gonna think it's silly.
Oh, good gravy.
It's perfect. No one will ever know.
Oh, David. Let's see.
Wait, why 2?
Scale 2.
Listen,
Scale
it doesn't cost money to have bigger.
Oh, good gravy.
It's fine. I'm sure it's fine.
Let's go in the middle here.
Fine. We'll compromise. Where's your true Texas spirit?
Yeah. We know how to be conservative when we need to.
Okay, cool. So starts off opacity 0, ends at opacity 0, goes to opacity 1, and then we could give each an animation delay. Why? Because we have that CSS variable over there. So.
Well, so we do want to set the duration as well. So let's do 0.5 seconds times var char total. Hey, thanks for some bits there, Snipes. Let me see. Let me get that working first, and then animation delay. Calc 0.5 seconds times var char index.
So Snipes asks, do you guys do any normal CSS related things?
Absolutely.
And I'd like to think that absolutely everything we do is normal and CSS related.
Yes. So a few quick changes here. Let's do 0%, 20%, 40%, 100%. Oh, wow. That's interesting. And let's set both. Snipes asks, I mean just CSS and not SCSS sublanguage. Yeah, we mainly just use SCSS for convenience most of the time. Stuff like nesting, you know, it gets painful to type all that out repeatedly. So that's the main trick there. But yeah, I'm actually a fan of less. You know, sometimes that's a good choice. All right, so let's slow it down a little bit. Do 1 second for each. I think our L's. Oh, the problem with the L coloring is.
I know. I'm doing some sort of fix for that, and it's a very Texas fix.
A Texas themed fix. I like it. I'm gonna go ahead and do.
All right, so here's the thing with this, and this is mostly my fault, but opacity, it sort of ruins the illusion. We want it to like hard cut, hard disappear, you know? like that flip at 50% sort of thing.
I wonder what property you could do that with.
Visibility. Visibility.
Visibility.
Visibility.
Yeah, it's one of those words where when you spell it often enough, it just kind of loses all of its meaning.
Visibility.
Visibility. Let's do inherit here. Okay. Howdy. Hey, that's looking pretty close.
Yeah, so here, let me just examine the back. Yeah, the background color sort of no, it's a direct change as well. So, and we want to give it some character too. So, like sort of a pause at, let's see what happens if I do this.
Thanks for those extra bits. Yeah, SCSS really isn't, we're not doing it to add any complexity. We're just doing it to simplify what we have to type. The loop here, we could manually type this out, but it becomes a lot easier when we can just sass it.
So is it making the full 2 turns? Because I sort of want to pause, like when, so it has to make 1 turn, and then it has to, well, let me try this real quick.
So,
all right, so now it's going too much.
It might be that the other animation is toggling in on visible. Oh, there we go.
All right, that could use some tweaking.
That's perfect.
All right.
Jeez.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Our math is off a little.
Right. So part of it is going to be all of this. What we could do is have 2 separate animations and do an animation delay in that way. Do you think that might help? To do just from 0 to 100% on both of them, and then offset the
yeah, sure.
Animation
Let's do
delay.
that.
Okay, so I'll rename this spin in, and then we'll do a keyframes spin out, and we'll change this to something like 75%, 100%.
Yeah, just so that we give that little pause.
And then add. Yeah, that may not work because we're staggering multiple animations. So let's do 1 second plus 2 seconds there.
And instead of linear, we could give it just a nice ease.
Yeah, it's kind of snapping right now, but it's okay.
Is the animation playing?
It is.
I don't see
it's just very slow. Let me see. Howdy. Okay, so part of the problem is both here, so we want to do backwards and forwards with the animation fill mode.
Oh yeah.
Howdy. So
cool. So this animation delay, let's delay. Just because it pauses first, or at least it's supposed to pause first.
Well, it might be an issue with the infinite repeat. I'm going to take that off for now so we can do a little bit of debugging here.
Okay, that works.
You'll need to increase that for both of them if you want.
Yeah. Actually, no, let's not do that. And all right, so right now we have 0, 75% to 100%. Yeah. Well, we could go into the next one. I feel like the concept here is pretty done. Nailed it.
Jeez. Yeah, I think the coordination there is just the main thing we'd have to get over.
Yeah, and
let me see.
Great. All right. Well, that was a fail. Not the animation. Like we got the basics of it down, but I don't think like that's the most exciting one we could do. So let's pull another one out of the hat, unless someone suggests one.
Okay. Your GIF. You can send over a suggestion.
Now it's your turn.
Oh, my turn to
Yeah.
pick something. Okay. I think another hello might be in order. And maybe we can do some squiggle vision as well. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Vision. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to drop this link in the chat. And over to you, David, as well. So this is Hello Dribble by Justin Brown. And it's customary on Dribbble to just do your own kind of little intro animation. So this has the letters of hello coming in. We're not going to do that drawing of Dribbble effect. We could if we wanted to, but that's not anything that Splitting will specifically help us with in this instance. So
now the interesting part about this animation is that each of the letters, they're not going to be, they basically have their own direction. Like there's no set pattern. It's just they come in at random.
Yes. David, here's a new link here.
Okay. Invisible to you all.
Kind of.
Sort of. Okay, so, yeah, let's do this. So I'll get the Squiggle Vision set up because I love Squiggle Vision.
Yeah.
And I wish it were performance, but it really is not. But it makes your computer feel nice and warm. So
right.
At least there's that. We have that going for us.
Nice and comforting.
Yeah.
Comforting warmth. All right, so we're mainly gonna look at hello here, which it actually starts at the end here. So we've got the O coming in from the left, and then HELL comes in there. Okay, hey, thanks for getting that color in there. We can just do hello in uppercase. All right, so let's just do that kind of zipper effect really quick, because that'll be a nice quick win. Let's see here. Ooh, very interesting little GIF there, Snipes.
Throwing on the Squiggle Vision real quick.
Are you actually editing anything yet?
Yeah, I'm in the HTML.
Oh man, I can't see your edits here. Let me save and refresh. You might need to refresh too, because I'm not seeing anything.
Okay.
Let's go ahead.
And everything's gone. Oh
Keyframers 19.1. Okay, I can see your cursor now. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So let's do animation. Slide in top, and we'll do 1 second. And
so for those who don't know what Squiggle Vision is, by the way, it's just a bunch of SVG filters that we're animating between to create this nice squiggly effect. So right on the actual body, we could do just this like just this squiggly animation. Squiggly and like just make it shake. Do you see that?
Ooh, yeah.
That squiggly right there.
Very nice.
All right, so right now you have each of the letters coming in like one at a time.
Yes. So I'll show you what we've got happening here. So what we'll do is add an alternate animation for slide in bottom. And this will come from the opposite end. And nth child to in of char, we will target with animation name, slide in bottom. And this should give us a nice nth child odd.
And I'm going to add Leroy Jenkins. I'm going to add animation name slide in right. And so that's going to be that last O, if that works.
Yeah, are you getting any updates there? Let me see.
No, I'm not.
That is straight. Oh, hey, we got to do SCSS again. That's going to kill me every time. Oh, good gravy. Hey.
Okay, so there's my
like 75% of the way there. That's great.
Yeah, so, but the thing with this one is it has to have no animation delay. Play 0 seconds.
And then this can be, oh man.
Oh, that's awesome. That just works. That's great.
Yeah, and one thing we can do as well is add in a little bit of opacity in all of the from states. And then
that is really cool.
Thanks, Snipes.
Okay.
You know, if we do something wrong, you guys can absolutely speak up in the chat, because it's very helpful for us to not be stuck on why isn't this working? Okay, let's go back to that original animation there and watch that. I'll get that at full speed.
I mean, there's a couple of other things, but I think we got this. But
sure.
Like, all right, so the crazy thing is just how fast we were able to get that.
Right, and how little code we actually had to write.
All right, so yeah, go back to the animation. Like, all right, yeah, so unfortunately, and maybe this is a technique that we're going to talk about in a different episode, but getting it to infinitely loop. You're going to discover, and you probably already know this, Shaw, but you're going to discover that animation delay is not enough. And in fact, animation delay is not your friend at all when it comes to this, or when it comes to doing, you know, this type of animation, like having it loop continuously.
Yes.
And the reason why is because delay only works once. So you have that delay, and then you no longer have that delay. You can't repeat a delay, unfortunately, and so it just all stacks together. So instead, you have to have keyframes which simulate the delay. So yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that eventually.
That's right.
But for now, we're just playing around with this really cool new tool.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's.
And what you can do is you can always go to behavior, check off auto updating preview, save, and then you can rerun that animation whenever you want. Actually, I did come up with a nice quick trick for updating or for rerunning an animation. Document.body.add event listener.
Oh, but that uses JavaScript.
Well, sure, but what doesn't?
But I am curious.
You could do a body hover state that changes the animation to an animation with a slightly different name, but that's the exact same keyframes if you really wanted.
Right.
So
but that's a hack.
Yeah. So what we'll do is let's see. What is it? Document. Let's see. Var L equals document query selector data splitting, and then we'll do clone equals l.clone node, and then document.body.replace child. Oh, sorry, l.parent node.replace child.
You know what? Well, all right, I'll let you finish this.
I believe that works. Let me see.
But FTW Snipes just showed us a GIF.
Yes.
That have you seen it?
Yes.
So basically, it's a cutout triangle, right? With a whole bunch of shapes being animated in and out. Now, at first, I thought like, oh, we're doing a lettering episode today where we're just animating characters. But then I realized like, we could do this using splitting. And the way we could go about doing it is instead of those funky shapes, let's use emojis. Let's test splitting and just use these emojis. What do you think? Have you tried it with emojis yet?
Yes, actually. For the lightning round animation, I did some emoji, and yeah, there's no problem with that. Okay, so let me pull up that GIF really quick. Do you have a source for this, by the way, Snipes? If you could include a full source, that'd be great for us, so we can attribute. So yeah, all we have here is a bunch of different shapes moving around in a triangle pattern. Oops.
Going back and forth.
Going back and forth, yes. So yeah, let me get a new pin ready.
So let's just talk through the strategy of this one. Splitting actually puts whatever character you have, in this case it's going to be an emoji, it puts it in a pseudo element as well. And this is going to be useful because we're doing two separate animations on each one. We're moving it not only left and right, but we scale it up and scale it down, right? And so those have to be two separate animations right there. And so you could do the moving left and right on the parent element and then moving, scaling up and down on the pseudo elements. And then using Sass, we could go crazy with random numbers and just do that.
Okay, let me get a keyframes 1.19.2. Let me get this over to you, David.
All right, this will be fun.
Collab mode, and we can do. Oh, not there. Okay. All right. So I've got SCSS already in.
We've learned our lesson.
Yes. Let's see.
Okay, so let's go through this one. And so what I'm going to do, instead of this hello world, and hopefully you can see my edits, I'm just going to start picking. I'm gonna pick some random emoji.
Yeah, if you have a favorite emoji, please submit in the chat, and we'll.
We're in Texas, so I have to add a taco.
Yes, naturally.
Now I see question marks, and I hope that
that's the font setting. Font size. Actually, I'm not sure what's happening there.
Is it because it's too big, or is it because splitting is actually munching those?
No, they're well. That's weird because yeah, I haven't had any.
This is interesting. Oh, import. Let's see. Let's
remove that.
Yeah. Well, what fonts are we using? Because we should probably just use the standard, like Helvetica, sans serif.
That is strange because it does work. I promise. I promise. Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Here's.
I'm allergic to emoji as this computer is too.
Yeah. Here's the lightning round emoji, or with the zap emoji. That's all I've got.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So let me see if zap is working in here. Oops. Not that one. Not that one. Okay.
That's interesting. Well, in the meantime, I'll be looking for a third one to
Okay,
pick.
there we go. Taco. Let me see. Maybe just your emojis are messed up. Are you on Windows by any chance? Huh. Maybe it's just outside of a certain Unicode range.
I don't know. Are your emojis mixed up?
My Zap came through just fine.
That's weird.
Very strange.
Okay. Well, I have a backup plan, and it's this really cool show hide password. Just because it's sort of simple to do, but we could use the same pen for that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. Cool with that.
Okay, and we could. I'm gonna do a little bit more JavaScript flexing in this one because I want to see how dynamic we could make splitting. And basically, so my guess, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, is that when the value changes, we call splitting again, and splitting will redo that, right? Or am I wrong? Have you tried splitting in that context before, where when things change?
So yeah, in those kinds of instances, you need to clear out all of the inner HTML and rerun it. But there is so let's see. The best thing to do here would be you've got your input type equals text or whatever, and then you've got your div for display.
Are you making edits?
Yes. Can you see them? I'm on that same one. Keyframers 1.19.2. Refresh. Okay, yes, that was not working. I don't know what is up with that. Okay.
Interesting. Well,
so let's do our input type equals text, and I can showcase that.
right, and so whenever the text changes, so equals input. I give it an ID of input.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then const l display equals document query selector.
I give it an ID of display.
Display. Why do you name things so confusingly?
By the way, don't use IDs like we use. We're doing this for simplicity. We're professionals.
Change, and then what we'll do is ldisplay equals ldisplay.inner HTML equals splitting.html, and then content is going to equal l input.value. So let's give that a try really quick. Let's see if anything's breaking. Okay, const l is not defined. I think that's old. Oh, yeah, there we go. I think it's working. So A, B, C. Oh, stop. Oh. Here, don't edit for, okay, yes. Okay, I think we want input instead of change, or key up.
Yes, input.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of different than like Vue or React where you anticipate change, but the actual native event is input. And so React and Vue sort of normalize that. It's a little weird.
Yeah. So let me show what's happening here. So splitting also includes a .html method where you can just provide some content and it will automatically spit back the HTML for you to use. So if you are using Vue or React or something like that and want to populate an element with some pre-split kind of stuff, or do some dynamic splitting in this way, this is the way you do it.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let me see what you're doing here, David. And,
well, first of all, let's make the color actually black.
Actually black?
Actually black. It's a new shade of black. just like Google's sort of blue. Or if you've heard about that.
I've not.
Yeah, their latest Android phones, they have colors like really black, very white, and sort of blue, or something crazy like that.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing a Verge
Okay, cool.
article.
So when you type, we have this div. Unfortunately, on my top left, whatever, that's not working on this div, which is
Did you position relative everything?
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
let me
of course
see. See what's happening.
Let's see. The height should be 100% of the container. Of course, the container is big for some reason. Okay, so let's make this input. Or actually, let's do this. Container. Where's the container? Where's my container? A container. We're going to make height 10 VH, as is the input's going to be height 10 VH too. And it has no other choice.
I don't know what's happening there.
All right. Oh, and so the input, let's position that absolute too. There has to be a better way of doing this. It's a pattern that we see so often.
Yes. So let's just do that and that.
Are you going to do your fancy grid?
No.
Okay. But, let's see, width, 50 viewport width. Let's just make it really wide. And so, yeah. 100%. That works for me. Cool. So they're sort of on top of each other, which is totally fine.
So what we want to do is hide the input anyway.
Okay.
Or do color transparent.
Or that. Oh.
And then in theory,
cool. Yeah.
You get
no, it
cursor,
works. Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And we're going to do also the worst thing ever, which is removing the outline on focus.
Yeah.
It's bad, but it's for aesthetics. And you have to make sacrifices somewhere.
Yeah. Which we could do a better job of. But hey, we're gonna just do this really quick. So let's do. Does it need to be a button to reveal it, or should we do an input hack, checkbox hack?
I don't know.
Checkbox hack?
Yeah, it should be a checkbox, really. Also, for this, I could just use the ID of input.
Yeah.
Be as confusing as it is.
Okay.
And then we could just have a checkbox.
Oh, okay.
A label.
Yeah. Okay, and then let's do. Good gravy. It's too big.
Okay. On size, let's make this only 2 VH. Cool. And then of course, position absolute that bottom like 110%. Okay, cool. So now we have a checkbox where you could show everyone your password, which of course you're doing already.
Yes.
All right, so the idea is when this checkbox is checked, or when it's not checked, then each one of those chars, we should actually replace the contents, right?
Yes.
And we'll replace the contents with those circles. So let me find a good, I guess a C dots, right?
Yeah.
Or a center dot.
So I'm going to start doing that at the top here. So we'll do char before content. I'm just going to populate it with a little bullet first. And we'll do that visibility visible.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see it.
So you have the dot there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but this has to be important just because that style is being set, or it's something's happening. But yeah, so it's being
Oh,
over.
yeah, that's not actually being split right off the bat. Data splitting, and then we'll run splitting up here first, and then value equals test. Okay, so now we have everything happening. And
the dots are a little weird.
Yeah, it's due to the character length. So what we need to do is switch over to a fixed width.
Yeah. Font fail.
Monospace. Yeah.
I don't know if you caught
that.
There
we go.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna have a cool little animation there. So basically what's gonna happen is it's going to I'm looking at the animation again. Actually, I just lost the animation. Oh, so this is going to happen really fast, but it's going to fade out, scale in, and then immediately fade in and scale back out. If that makes sense.
Something like that.
Or I think you're doing it a different way.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get that. Okay, there we go. I got it displaying. All right. And after.
Oh, okay. So I see.
Yeah.
I see. So we have two different things. Both the before and after have the character, right? And so the idea is that when it's checked, the before, right, it scales out.
Yes.
Or scales in. Right? It scales down.
Right.
We should really be using down or up. And then the after, it scales up.
And we actually need to remove the label there because we need our input to be top level.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Label 4 equals reveal should work. Let's see if that. Nope.
Okay, and I'll add like an input type equals checkbox checked squiggly. Then this input. And so let's see.
We don't want input. We want display.
You're right. And so the before for this should be transform scale 1. You might be doing this backwards, but it's okay. We just have to make sure that it works. And then this, of course, is transform scale 0. And so to each of these, actually to everything, screw it. We could transition, transformed, parentheses, why not? And nothing's happening.
Yeah, that's weird.
Let's see, transform scale. Maybe the visibility thing. No, it's not the visibility thing.
It's not doing anything.
Transition, transform. All right, time debug. Let's see what happened. Transform.
Is our check? Yeah, I guess our checkbox is working.
It's not working, or it is?
Well, I think it's working because it's toggling over.
Right. So the toggle works. Let's see. Transition, transform, 0.3 seconds, ease, and so we're weird. Oh, you know what? Let's do 0.5 just to experiment, see what's going on. Still no transition.
Yeah, let's just add it down here to be safe. Oh, yeah, okay, I know what's happening. Sorry.
So what happened exactly?
I think my splitting styles are a little too specific. So, are a little too opinionated, I should probably say. I believe they are set to transition inherit by default, so that they receive whatever the transition of the char is, and you are applying the transition to just the pseudo element. So
Gotcha.
it wasn't actually working.
Awesome.
There.
Well, I'll work on centering these if you want to work on the delay.
Yeah.
Getting that just nice and smooth.
Right. So what we'll do here is animation delay, calc, 0.1 second times the character index. And let's see what that looks like just by default. Oh, I'm doing animation delay.
Okay.
That needs to be transition delay. Yeah. That's pretty much it, right?
That's nice.
Let's see.
All right, so basically we could
Call it
backspace type. It does. All right, let me do this white space type of thing over here. White space, no wrap, and I'm not sure how.
This could just be splitting white space and do that as well. Something like that.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Oh, and one thing you can do here is setting white space true and white space true in the splitting settings, and that will include the white space in your calculation. Yep.
That's really cool.
Yeah. A lot of times you really don't want to worry about the white space. You don't want to think about it or anything like that. But in those instances you do, then you have white space true to be your friend.
I think that's one of the coolest applications of splitting that we've done.
That is quite rad.
And that took us no time.
Yeah, and the main effect code is actually very straightforward. It's just a simple stagger, and utilizing those pseudo elements for some extra fun.
Yeah, let me get a box shot real quick. I just have to.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to have a cursor in there as well, but
Shoot.
Let's see. Oh yeah.
Yeah. For box shows, good rule of thumb is always make it subtle. Don't try to go overboard on it because it looks pretty bad.
Yes, big and subtle.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. You want to try and knock out one more?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to the if you find one. Oh, we can of course.
This password form is so fun. It almost makes you want to show everyone their password.
That is dangerous in that way. Do you want to do the portfolio, or why are you here?
I'm here, because this is the only time I get to actually do animation. Oh, you mean the anime? Yeah. Here, let's see. So why are you here might be a little bit complex, and that's sort of what I was alluding to in the whole just being able to orchestrate animations without using animation delay.
Yeah.
And so that's definitely a topic for another keyframers episode. But which one's the portfolio one that you're talking about?
Towards the top, there's that one, or there's Jump or Fiverr. Both of those have some really good. Fiverr's kind of like the hello, I guess.
Wow, I like Fiverr.
You want to try that one?
Yeah, because so strategy for this one, we could treat it as if we're just doing a normal staggered animation for each letter.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is for the first one, we give it a little bit of special treatment.
Mm-hmm.
And that special treatment is just giving it 0 delay so that it could do its full animation. Whereas the other ones get like a set delay plus their staggered delay.
Yes. Okay.
And of course, we have to use pseudo elements because we are both rotating and moving at the same time.
I don't know that it needs pseudo elements.
Well, because you see how they're rotating, but they're also moving up.
Let me break it down for just a moment. I'm sending you a collab link here. Let me see. Open that up in GIF Scrubber so we get some.
Timer.
Yeah, that rotation's easy enough.
But yeah, we need to have we had to have the transform on one element and the rotate on the translate and rotate are going to be two separate things.
Are you making changes anywhere? Can you do that to make sure we're just synced up?
Okay. Yeah, so here's a change. Turn that to green.
Okay.
Did you see that?
Yep. Okay. And then we'll simplify here. Family. I need to make that adjustment. Font size. Width. There we go. All right, I'll start setting up the animation. And this is another one where we may not be able to do the infinite loop of the animation because of the animation delay issue.
Right. And of course, we'll talk about fixing that in future episodes. Because it's not an easy topic. No. Okay, so I'll work on the first character's animation real quick. So we're going to do transform X. So at first it's going to be far away from home. It's going to be about 500% away. And of course, translate Y like another 500%. It's just going to be really far away. And then I'm going to do like at 50%. That's when it's going to come back up. Transform, translate, X 500%. And then at 100, that's transform none. So let's do add my global cubic Bezier 0.51. This works so well. And yeah, maybe I could change that 500 to something else.
So hold on. This is another instance where splitting variables can come in handy. 1m times var char total. And yes, CSS variables work in animation.
Oh man, there's so many useful CSS variables for splitting.
Yep.
That is fun. Okay, so let's also do 40%, 60%, because it's gonna like pause a little bit there.
Yeah. So what is the unit to use there? I think it's
CH.
Not M.
CH.
Yeah.
CH. So CH is the width of, I don't know, not an M, but a normal character. I was going to say the width of an X, but there is EX as well.
Right.
No, but EX is for the heights.
Oh, CH is for 0. 0.
Okay. Wow. We should have like a CSS trivia, like just everyone meet at a bar or something. All right, so that's the first character's transform.
Yes.
And so we're also going to do I'm going to have a Sass variable for the duration. Or should we make it CSS? Yeah, let's make it a CSS variable. So duration, we're going to say it's a 3-second duration total. So each of the characters would have like their duration divided by 2, probably. And then this first character transform, animation duration, or duration. Right, and so of course the delay, we're going to be adding that duration, or that half duration. So first duration 2 plus that, so let's see if that works.
Sorry, I'm breaking things.
All right. Got some speedy cars here in Texas.
Sure do.
All right, so I don't see an animation.
Okay, there we go. It should be working at the moment.
Interesting. All right, so the letters come in halfway. Okay, so I don't even know why I'm doing this duration divided by 2 junk, because here's what I'm going to do. The duration is going to be, well, let's just have it say 1 second, but we're just going to make the first character, well, that is way too fast. Trying to think about the timing for this one.
Yeah, the problem is animation delay 0 seconds here for first child.
Oh, okay, and then let's make this twice as long. That's why I was going for, just making this twice as long.
And then let me look back at the actual animation. Okay, the letters are coming in backwards, so let me show a nice nice trick here. Yep. Var char total minus var char index.
That's simple math.
It is.
Okay, cool. So now we just have to, what, shorten the duration, or maybe make this? That works.
Yeah, so I mean the duration should be faster, but okay. Yep.
That is a fast T, but
okay,
it works.
I'm gonna try to adjust hidden visibility, visible color. Okay, awesome. So
nice.
Down below, I've got all of the I've got our before pseudo element, so we can start doing an animation inherit. Name before transform.
Fun. Yeah, I'll do a keyframes first car rotate. Car rotate. So
you should rotate your car's tires every 5,000 keyframes.
Yeah. There's definitely some interesting things going on here. So this is going to be fun. So transform. Rotate, let's say clockwise, so 5 turn, and then 40%. It sort of overshoots, so transform, we rotate to -0.1 turn. That's how it works.
Yeah, turns are just such a strong unit. Dropping down to degrees might help. Oh, that's good. Your overshoot turn.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's say 90% transform, rotate negative 10 degrees.
Adding a really subtle box shadow to each of these. Oh wow. So
shouldn't that be text shadow?
yeah. Yes. Does text shadow have the same syntax? I forget.
Ish, yeah.
Sort of.
Mm-hmm. And for performance, we could probably actually make that the after pseudo element and
yeah, but
okay.
It looks fine as is.
Will you take a look at my char rotate keyframes and see any adjustment? Sorry, I'm moving them up above first char because they don't seem to settle in as smoothly.
All right, so let's look at the char rotate. 20 degrees. All right, so they're coming in 20 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And then negative 10 degrees. What if we make this like 30%? And that's a little better. So the char rotate, I would say, just to really sell the illusion, give it a slightly longer duration, just for the char rotate.
Yeah, and that's easy enough to adjust because that's animation duration. Calc var duration times 1 point.
Like 1 point. Yeah, let's see how that feels. Oh, you I was gonna say something, but then I didn't. So it just sounded weird.
Animation yeah, hold on. Duration inherit. Here we go. Oh.
Let's see why. There, sort of. See what I did? I overshot the Y as well.
Yes. That's pretty good.
Yeah, looks good to me. Add some playfulness to it.
Let's see.
Man, that's fun. All right. Well, I like it.
Yeah, and I added that click to rerun.
Oh, good.
Script down on the bottom. Let me explain that really quick. So it's just selecting the element that we want to rerun. Then whenever you click on the body, it clones that node and replaces the existing node with the clone, and then updates the reference to that to be the clone, so that every time you replace, every time you click, it's basically replacing that element. And when the element is dropped into the DOM, the browser is going to rerun those animations.
Awesome. Yeah, I just had a little bit of extra overshooting to the T. See, you could just do a lot to make it so playful. And so I know it seems like a lot of magic numbers, but like the more you get used to it, the more you see like there's certain patterns that you could do. And that's why, like, if you've seen those 12 animation principles, like just the idea of overshooting and follow through and secondary animations, like all those like really play into making these seem really lively, which is why I'm clicking this so many times, because it's so much fun.
It is.
We really made this feel like at least a 15er, not even a 10er.
11er.
And so all this without having to learn After Effects. Amazing.
Yes. Yeah, that's
all right.
That's a very good comparison there. Just going back to the original animation.
Yeah, so the original has a bit more bounciness to it. And of course, that's something we could talk about in a future episode too, because I'd love to talk about how we could do real springs in CSS with the help of CSS variables. And that's something that you're going to see us talk more about, is using CSS variables for animation, which we've been doing, but we're going to just do more of it.
Right. Yeah, the splitting is a great gateway into the CSS variable underground. I don't know.
Why don't we name it this?
Framer.
Oh, that's copyrighted.
Framers. There we go. Okay. And look, you were updating the text, and we didn't even have to change the animation because all of those CSS variables are just automatically handling the complexity.
Oh my god, my key doesn't work.
Yeah, there may be some Unicode weirdness with.
That's really unfortunate.
With that, yeah,
that's okay.
I'll file that as an issue. If anyone knows what might be happening there, we can take a look.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Should we call it a night?
Let's call it.
All right. Well, first let's just go back really quick and go over the animations we did. We can do this really quick. Our Howdy did not quite work out. There's just a lot of animation coordination that would need to happen there. We probably could have done it single run, and that would have been fine. But hey, that's okay. We don't complete every animation we start here because we want to make it entertaining.
Ironically, that was the least impressive looking one.
Yeah. All right, so 1.19.1, we've got this beautiful squiggle vision hello. Again, all of these are using splitting mainly for just the CSS variables. For this, we just have an alternating up and down or from top to bottom animation for HEL, and then the last child O is sliding in right, which we could update this to Howdy and rerun, and boom, got a beautiful animation there. Okay, and then oops, wrong window, sorry. Yes, our password revealer. So this is just updating our display elements, inner HTML, with Splitting.html anytime that the input is updated, and then you can reveal it and edit it all. And the overflow.
Hey, now I know your password.
Yes. So now everybody can count accounts. Yeah. So anyway, that one just using the before and after pseudo elements, overriding the content for the before so that it becomes the bullet, and then whenever the checkbox is checked, you get that nice transition because of the transform scale. And last one here is the framers animation, and we'll have links to all of these and links to the originals available on Twitter and everything. Well, yeah, that's all we've got for tonight. Anything you've got to add, David?
No, I don't know which one's my favorite. This is chock full of techniques. It's so much fun to do too. And I mean, CSS Variables makes this extremely easy to do. Like, you saw us, you witnessed us in less than 2 hours. We knocked out all of these not easy animations, or not easy to do without the help of CSS Variables and a library.
Seemingly not easy animations. But when you break a lot of these kind of text animations down, 90% of the time it's just some kind of easing. Some kind of delay on each individual character.
Yeah, delay and math.
Yes. So just simply by staggering the characters with splitting, you get some amazing results.
And you could make even a sort of simple animation seem so much more complex and choreographed just by giving special treatments to just one of the elements and adding that bit of playfulness. So for example, the O in hello, or howdy, the Y in howdy, or the first F in framers gave a little special treatment, added a ton of character.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you can do it too. Get out there and start making some demos. Shoot them over to us on Twitter at Keyframers, and tag it with hashtag Splitting.js if you want, and we'll be sure to check those out and share those when we see them. Yeah. All right. Well, that music means you've been watching Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to see more from David and I and more libraries like Splitting, you can subscribe and participate in the live streams every Monday at twitch.tv/keyframers. You can also like and subscribe at youtube.com/keyframers, where we keep all of our archives, so you'll find this video there. You can tweet at us and spread the word at twitter.com/keyframers. We love to hear from you guys. And if you want to really support us and be a Animigo for life, you can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers. Yeah, and so we do submit, we do accept submissions for future episodes, so you could tweet us at Keyframers, or you could also write us a few letters, and we will read them. I try to make a pun there. I'm sorry, we have to have at least one of the puns. You could also present questions or challenges like you did today, which is awesome, that we will try to answer on air and explain it to the best of our abilities. Always, for you. Yes. And do be sure to share this video and these demos across all your social platforms. And thank you all so much for joining us. Until next time, adios, amigos. All right, I got a split.